Okay. Could be something fun to explore. But if
Do
you
we
wanna
roll
play
our
a game-
lifeline now?
Yeah.
Yes, go for it. So, after personality traits, which you get 2, you get to roll 5 times.
Oh wait.
on the
I
lifeline
want to know.
table.
I want to know Robbie's personality traits.
Oh, okay, go for it.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I'm emotional
Okay.
and violent.
You can feel the magic is working already.
I'm telling you, we've got flippant and jealous. We've got emotional and violent, and we've got slovenly and rude.
Okay.
This is the best
go for it.
sitcom ever.
I was going to say, this is like playing Gregor Hutton's game, Best Friends.
All right.
Okay, so
Lifeline.
you get to roll 5 times on the lifeline table. Anything that's in capital letters sends you to another table to roll more things to find out what they are.
Wow. That's hard to take.
Ooh.
I have a phobia of open spaces, which pretty much turns this completely upside down.
You've clearly had a storied experience.
Well, yeah, not only that, but it's kind of interesting. I mean, you were a hermit. Now we know you were a hermit in a little cabin or something.
Yeah.
Right.
Or cave or something. So,
Yeah. But I'm from a ranching family, so I guess whatever happened, I must have walked away from that. If you have 2 enemy results, do you roll 2 different enemies?
You rolled twice on the enemy table. You can then decide whether or not it's the same enemy or
All right.
or different enemies that have that.
Wow. What do I do with this? It's both. It's both strangely specific and strangely general.
I am agog to hear.
Well, I'll summon the hive mind.
Okay.
So I got phobia open spaces.
Mm-hmm.
Enemy is a cult leader. I caused them to be imprisoned. Enemy is a relative who betrayed me. Hunted by another race and drafted +1 to weapon skills.
Whoa, the draft and the Holy War. That's just like total.
Yeah.
Oh, no, wait, wrong guy. Sorry, that's not right.
Well,
there's
Still.
Right.
Drafted
Holy-
and Holy War and another character, and already
Right.
we can pull people together, mate.
Yeah.
well, there's probably is some kind of holy war because of this cult leader enemy.
Yeah, that's all setting up for Robbie really well.
Yeah.
But, who knows? I mean,
Oh, I need to check what kind of relative this is. Younger sister. Okay, that helps a lot.
right.
Who betrayed me. So maybe she
Maybe she was in the cult. If she's not the cult leader, I mean, if she's
Yeah.
not the other enemy, then maybe she was in the cult.
Do
Let me-
feel free to roll.
let me
go
work
back
on
and roll-
this.
Yeah.
I'm trying to work this phobia into, like, I have this idea that maybe I was supposed to inherit the ranch, and then my younger sister had a curse put on me that gave me the phobia, so I was incapable of functioning, so I had to go wander into the wilderness, preferably a forest or very small valley.
Mhm.
And that started the second phase of my character's life, where I ended my hermitage by getting drafted. I was just seized and got into this holy war. I was drafted by the cult leader, and
Okay.
I ended up
It could be
selling
it could
him
be different
out,
if you want.
selling him out to the enemy of the army that I was drafted to fight. That's just stream of consciousness.
Yeah, I don't know. That sounds like really linear to me. It's like it's going ands then. I don't know.
Well,
Yeah.
But
well,
also,
what's your
I was just going to say, don't forget, you can, if you want, roll on the race table to work out which race is pursuing you as well.
True.
I believe you said that.
Oh yeah, I forgot all about that. Hunted by another.
Or you can pick one. I don't mind. But,
I'll roll.
when you find out Intermodians are pursuing you, that'll be.
All right, it's actually nomads who are pursuing.
Oh, okay.
And we all know that they are devotees of this completely unfamiliar desert god who's all about honor and vengeance and stuff.
Is that what's happening?
So, we'll come back in a moment, because it clearly needs a bit of thought to pull these things together. It'd be interesting to see what Robbie has. And there are a few other steps we have to go through, which I hope people don't skip over, because there's giving your character a name and a quirk, and most importantly, from my point of view, some goals. So we'll come back to those more. Robbie, what did you come up with on your last one?
Okay, yeah. So for my background, known for a personality trait was one. I don't know if I go on and if we leave that hanging as to which one of if I'm known for being emotional or violent, or maybe it's for both.
Yeah. Well, okay.
See
go
what
on.
makes sense with all the other bits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What else?
Hard labor, which is going to give me +1 strength. Sold into slavery for 2 years, which maybe then explains. I could see connecting that up to, like, even though I don't have, my religion is no organized religion. Maybe the slavery had something to do with.
There are slave soldiers.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Is the fighting in the Holy War that might be?
Oh
connected
wow!
up to that.
This is to go with stereotypes. Okay, the nomads are Arabs in
Yes.
the game, and they follow a very straightforward Western version of Islam, which isn't like incredibly insensitively presented in the book, but it's real simplistic. So they've got that. And if you were enslaved by them and fought on their side, because at least in some history of the Ottoman Empire, they did have slave soldiers,
Right.
then that would make a lot of sense.
I also have
Yes.
my map of the which conveniently has hillfolk territory next to nomad territory,
Well, there you go.
with some hills in the middle and places to.
And wolflings can be anywhere, right? They don't have a region.
Yep. No.
Right.
Right.
Let's see. I also have. I dated a lover who has committed suicide,
Ooh.
Wow.
and also I am also hunted by another race, and I went on and rolled on that table and came up with serpentine.
Makes sense.
And does it say why?
No,
Like,
it
Just
not say.
okay.
It may have something to do with that holy war that I.
Well,
was-
I imagine it must. I mean, you've
Yeah.
got all sorts of things. So you've got a suicide lover, you've got hunted by the serpentine people, and you were enslaved and you fought in the Holy War,
and I have hard labor.
and
Well,
hard
so
labor.
maybe
That
I
could be
was
part of
like
the slavery
part of-
too, right?
Yeah, part of the slavery too would
Yeah.
have been the hard labor. Yep.
Yeah.
You probably want to allow some of these things to percolate and link together and in your mind for a bit of time. And I'm going to send you off with homework to write up some sort of character history. That, as I said, you may also want to come up with a name for your character.
Cool. So where have we ended up?
So they've been agonising over their skill choices. Rod, because he's only got a limited number of choices, and Robbie has too many choices tonight. And then we've moved on to talk about shopping, because it's a fantasy role-playing game. You
Yeah.
have to go shopping.
Yeah, so like I was thinking about the fact that, I had been in slavery fighting in a holy war. I don't really have a single place, so I was thinking things like legends would make sense, that I would have been around to have heard. Language, I was thinking, okay, I'd probably been exposed to different languages, so that would make some sense.
Yeah, the nomad
And
language for sure. Yeah. Or serpentine. Yeah.
Ooh. So, pursuant to what you were talking about, Ross, about not necessarily
Oh, yes. shopping.
counting your iron spikes or whatever.
I figure it makes sense to
So we
innovate
just-
in a tiny little innovation. Buy some weapons and/or armor, and then if you want to
Okay.
say, if you want to say, and maybe some clothes if you want to look flash.
Throw some, yeah.
Things like that. But otherwise, if you want to just identify X amount of cash that you have available as stuff that you might need, and X amount that's free cash you can spend if you need to buy things, then we will kind of work that way, I think. And then you can cunningly produce the 10 foot of rope, 50 foot of rope that you need from your bag at some point in time. And again, it does kind of write, the game's written as though you're going to wander off into a dungeon of a series of 10 by 10 foot by 10 foot rooms and fight orcs, and not necessarily where we want to go. I don't know. We'll find. We can't buy orcs because they don't have orcs. They have all hob. So think about shopping, and again, it may be stuff you want to fill out when you talk about your background and what you should be carrying, having been a hermit and been press ganged and things like that.
I see that you buy your various limb coverings separately.
You do, and in a reverse of what I was saying earlier, they put a limit or an upper limit on some of your base skills and the associated skills. So if you were wearing full plate various skills, for example, if you had a plate helmet on and therefore had a max alertness of 7, that would also give you a max empathy and listen and search of 7.
Understood. That's actually interesting, kind of.
It puts some interesting choices just in terms of making you dress up in funny ways and only have like gauntlets but not a breastplate and things. Potentially. Depending on what you want, obviously, depending on what you rolled well in, it doesn't make a lot of difference if you only have a 4 in something.
Well, right. It's kind of a clever idea in that you're just whatever you already put on your character sheet tells you which pieces you want to get instead of like, well, if I get this, then I have less of that. I don't know. Kind of a different way to do it.
Shields look like they're probably quite a good idea, but I don't know. Not having seen the combat system in action, and they work again slightly differently. They have you have to be strong enough to use them, or they don't work as well. And they cover various different bits of your body, more or less, depending on how big they are, and all sorts of fun things like that.
And right now, our amount of money to spend is determined by our family history, right, and how much money we're getting from that.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, unless you get a windfall from your lifelines, I think that's what you're stuck with.